Right guys, well here we are on the Breville, and just fitted the Bluetooth module in. Now this is one of Manuel's boards from Electronics Old and New. If you haven't checked his channel out, go and check Manuel, well worth watching. Okay, so he's designed this little board. It's got a built-in preamp, so it boosts our level up to whatever we need to go into the volume pot or wherever you're putting it to. Also has an isolated power supply, a 5-volt supply that's separate to the transformer. But I've had to do a couple of modifications on this one, this Breville, because unfortunately with this one we have a center tapped 6.3, so we're only looking per side 3.1 or 3.15. So this is the arrangement we had here for our 6 volts. Now what I've done is I've removed the center tap so it's isolated and grounded one side of the 6.3. Okay, it hasn't made any difference to the radio. All these filaments on these tubes were isolated, but it makes no difference whether they're grounded. The unit still works perfectly. I don't quite understand, you guys may be able to enlighten me with this, why a center tap would be used on the 6.3 there. I'm not sure what difference it would make grounding one side. Can you guys shed some ideas on this one? Because as I said, I've lifted it using the 6.3 as normal and it works fine. There's no problems. That also leads to our perfect 6.3 of Manuel's circuit here, and with 6.3 in, more or less isolated. And from this one is actually 0 or ground, and or audio ground on this one, and this fella goes down here to our voltage doubling circuit. Now if you have a look at Manuel's video on this one, it's quite good. Then we've got an amplifying stage. I'm using a TL072. Our rail voltage, Manuel described plus minus 9 volts. Mine is actually plus minus 7.8, and the chip is working fine. These things will work fine above 3 volts really. So, and then we've got the output, and we can mono the output just here. But anyway, I don't want to describe this whole board and the isolation of our 5-volt regulator there. You've got voltage coming in more or less, I don't know what's going into this, 6 volts I think, or is that a 5? That's a what's that? That's a 5-volt reg, and it runs this little converter, I suppose, inverter, whatever it is. Anyway, it's isolated, 5 volts out, ground isolated, 5 volts isolated. So you've got a separate supply for your Bluetooth module, eliminating hum loops and all sorts of hassles with it. Okay, so yeah, we had to do a modification to get one ground side of our 6.3. Okay, so but have a look at his channel, Electronics Old and New, and he'll describe this. I've ordered some of the boards. Actually, I'll grab a board that's not populated. I'll tell you what, guys, it's good not having a microphone with a cord on it. You can walk around. So there's the boards, and they come from PCB Way. Of course, most of us use PCB Way. What a great setup they are, and nice board. You just populate him up and costs very little. The only thing you need is on eBay is a 5-to-5 isolated power block, which goes in there. Okay, but have a look on his website. You can order on his YouTube channel rather. You can order these from his links, and these are great to use. If you don't want to use the power supply bit, the preamp is worth it, just to have it. Rightio, so I have mounted that down in the corner here, and I've got the Bluetooth mounted at the front here on the radio. I'll show you it in a moment, but first of all, we're turning this on, and I have got the output of this board at the moment connected to my external amplifier, just to make sure the Bluetooth amplifier, Bluetooth module is working from the transformer. The radio, it's not going through the radio yet. So I'll plug the radio in, turn him on. We've got audio there. And if I get my phone and press play, and we better not play too much of Guy there. So that's working fine. So now I'll show you the Bluetooth module. I'll bring the camera around, it's a little bit easier. So here's our old Breville, and we'll go down in there. So there's the Bluetooth module. Just mounted one screw on a little plastic standoff. I went straight in, the power straight onto the board, not through the micro USB, because these little boards, I think they're about $2 or $3. They're not very dear, and that's our audio out. Okay, so those two holes, well, the three holes were already in the chassis. So that's just where I've mounted it. Spaced it off because of the aerial. You don't want it right against the metal. So there we go. And as far as the other board is concerned, you can see that I've mounted him in there just with a couple of standoffs. And yeah, the transformer, well, what are we? We're actually, I'm just balancing this fella here in a minute. Okay, I'm going to unplug him so I don't electrocute myself. That was the centre tap of the transformer. That's our 6.3. So I've put, instead of the centre tap going to our ground wire here, I have now put the ground wire over to one side of the 6.3, which runs up onto our tubes up here and goes up the top. All right, so that's what I've done there, just temporary. We'll have to fix these wires up a bit, and that works fine. Okay, so now it's a matter of putting some voltage in this thing and working out how I'm going to integrate this onto the volume pot. Let's have a look at it. Okay, now I'll just get a pointer for you. Now, pick up. So obviously we've got ground that we've got to go one side of the cable to. The other side has to go, well, more or less to this point here. Now, this arrangement will have to break this, what is it, a 47k resistor there. We're going to have to break into this point here, hoping this is the go into the grid of the 6B7, Now, I don't know by opening this one, I think we still have a bit of bleed through of the radio from the actual detector. So I may have to open the cathode of the 6D6 to stop anything coming up here through the transformer into the 6B7. So yeah, it's a little bit tricky on how we're going to do this. I'm just not real sure. This is more or less an experiment, not quite the regular run-of-the-mill volume pot. This is our the 42, the output valve, okay, and it goes up to the power supply there. But yeah, this is the point where I thought, well, okay, we're going to have to open that. This will be done with a relay, and probably open this as well when this happens. All this done with one relay, and that relay is controlled by, well, probably magnets on this one, because I've got an idea there's nowhere to put switching or anything like that in this. She's an old unit, so yeah. Anyway, that's the theory at the moment. That's what I'm working on. I'll experiment with this. There's no use in putting all this on camera, all the experimenting. So I'll let you know how I go. I'll give it a crack and see if we can get a nice, good signal without the radio actually, spearing into the 6B7 and being detected in here. And yeah, and then of course we get a little bit speared out into the output valve. All right, that's what I'm up to. We'll give it a go, see what happens. What's the worst that could happen, guys? With this Breville, you just don't know. Righto guys, well I've got the module connected up to the volume control, turned up fully when the module's on. It's connected at the moment to Bluetooth. Absolutely zero noise, nothing, not a thing. So we don't have to open the cathode on our detector or beforehand. It's, yeah, not the detector, the second IF, the 6D6. I was thinking about dropping the cathode, opening it here to stop this happening here. But we've gone into right there on top of the volume control. I've opened this at the moment, and absolutely no noise. Play. And she is going absolutely perfectly. We have plenty of volume there. The letdown, of course, is that, the speaker. Guys, there's not much bass. She's a very, very tight cone. So we might do something with this down the track at the moment, just getting Bluetooth in, and when I've got time I will probably recone that little jobby. Okay, but at the moment, good tone control. And yes, it sounds great. And as I said, press pause on there, full volume, zero. That is quiet as quiet. So that makes the job a little bit easier. Okay, so we can turn that off. The next thing we've got to do is our dial lights, switching it to blue when the Bluetooth is on, and how we're going to switch it. Well, I'll give you a clue, because this is only an idea of mine. I've just got to turn this old girl around. I've just got to undo the speaker here if I can. Geez, that's a hard plug. Okay. Because we've got no switching here, and all we've got is a band switch, which is short wave, medium wave, and medium wave low gain, or local. So I don't want to touch that. Here, yes, it's on-off volume. Here, tone. That's all we've got. So, thinking, okay, we bring the dial around to here, in that position there, switches to Bluetooth, or in around, right towards that last little bit. Just about there where there's no stations. Okay, so all this is going to be done with a magnet right there, and as you can see, when he moves around, I've just got to make sure this magnet is attached to the disc, which will be done with probably super glue or something like that. Maybe not, maybe some JB or something, that JB weld, because I do not need that letting go. Okay, so if we take the dial, get around here, if we take the dial back around to the top, say 12 o'clock position, that's where it is. Otherwise, it goes in there. Now he's going to hit. That's going to hit. Okay. We will probably need a smaller magnet on there. But a magnet is the idea of it at the moment. It's only an idea. That's right at the end. This little fella has got a little magnet in it. Now the magnet's not as big as that, but it has to be that the plate doesn't come forward when it gets over here and hits anything. So that's something I'm going to have to work out. We'll get the magnet out of this little container, his little cap, and we'll suss the size of the magnet. Doesn't need much. We're probably going to use, you could use a reed switch, but I'm going to use a Hall effect device to do the switching for me. Okay, we'll check this out and see how we're going to switch this. Righto guys, well there's our magnet glued into place. We do have a little rubber stopper over here that keeps the disc away for the clearance, so at no time will the disc just fold back towards the back plate here. So it just needed that just to secure it. But I'm going to make a little, well, a board, adapter board or something here that's glued on, and it comes around, it gets to that point, the Hall effect will be right there, right next to him, so that way we can alter the position here of the height of it. This will be also glued on, there'll be no holes drilled in this, and it won't move. We'll put quick grip or something like that on there, JB or whatever, and that will do our switching for us. Now we've got to work out the switching for the lighting, which is these fellas, switching between normal lighting and the other lighting. the blue LEDs, and the switching for the Bluetooth module itself, switching the both the power to it and the audio side. So a double pole, double throw relay with that one. I'll be probably using very small relays for this because, well, the Bluetooth module, very, very low current on both the wire, the voltage to it, and the audio signal is nothing. A little bit heavier relay here because this is switching to the dial lamps, which is drawing about, I think it's a bit over an amp. They're about 200 mil each, I think. I will measure them and we'll put something in to suit. Okay, so this is where we're up to at the moment. I'm going to leave it. There's some other jobs here at the moment that are a bit pressing, so another 24 hours before I get back to this fella. It'll give everything a chance to dry here. Righto guys, now with the switching of the Bluetooth up here, I'm doing this, as you probably saw, the old-fashioned way. A magnet and a reed switch. That's the easiest way of doing this one anyway. The magnet will go around and go in behind the plate on this side, so there's no fouling there. And well, as you can see, where are we? If we turn him around, gets to there, and there's our switch point. Right on the our little reed switch. I'll just give you a close-up of that. Pretty crude, old school way of doing it. I didn't want to use MOSFETs and all that sort of rubbish for switching, but that reed switch will actually switch a relay. Now I'm not real sure what I'm going to put in there yet, but this is the next stage, and I'll think about it when I've finished this bit. Okay. Now there's nothing special here. A little reed switch. This is on an angle because, well, I didn't want it closer down to the top plate here. So it's up on an angle which lines up exactly in line with the magnet when it's closed. So, when it's opposite the switch. And as you can see, there's the mechanism there. Very easy. I mean, you can fit this idea onto the tuning gang somehow, onto any dial somehow. A little magnet and a very small reed switch. You can get smaller reed switches than this one. This, I think, is a, what is it, 27 millimeter one, 27 mil. But you can get the 10 mil ones, which are really, really small. I wanted a little bit of size with this, and these are not tight. The cable ties are not tight. They're just there to guide the wire down. So now I've got to work out what goes on the end of this wire. Is it a relay? Is it an electronic switch? What we're switching is the 5 volts to the Bluetooth module, and we also have to switch between our normal lighting and our Bluetooth lighting. So that's the two things that we have to do. I'm sure a small relay will do this, but seeing the lamps are original, we're drawing in around, I think it's about 800 mil from the lamp. So the relay has to be capable of in around 1 amp anyway. Okay, just a small relay, and yeah, we might have to use 2 yet. I don't know. I want to make this as unobtrusive as possible so that this can be put back to original if it's ever needed to be. This looks a bit strange, but believe me, that will work fine. Well, we're one step closer with the Breville. Just monitoring the HT there. Which is pretty good. It's supposed to be 270. 269 is pretty close. Close enough for me anyway. This mess here. I've got the relay in for the Bluetooth, the Bluetooth module sitting down in there. Now, I'm not going to take you through the whole wiring procedure. Every radio is different. I don't think anyone else will be doing one of these things. So, but basically what it is, it's from Electronics Old and New. We built that up, and that's got a little op amp in it that brings our level up level with the radio. Quite a handy little board. So it sort of, yeah, controls the whole Bluetooth level type thing from the Bluetooth receiver, which is mounted around the front here. We'll have a look at this in a minute. I can't move this around too much. We'll have to move the camera. Our shielded cable goes up to the volume pot. So there is a shielded cable comes from the radio, goes down here to the relay, is switching, and comes back up here to the volume pot. And this relay switches between our Bluetooth audio and our radio audio. Okay, simple as that. The other thing that the relay switches is the 5-volt supply to the Bluetooth module, because while it's running, it interferes with the radio. Okay, so we don't want it running when we've got the radio going. So the relay cuts that when the radio is not going. All it does is enables 5 volts to the module, Bluetooth module, and it starts up when we're on Bluetooth. I'll run you through that in a moment. The other one over here is our light relay. Now, this switches between normal dial lamps and the blue LEDs when it goes to Bluetooth. It's only switching ground to either the lights, the dial lamps, or the LEDs. There is no voltage going to the top as far as this switching. It's only switching grounds. One side of the relay here is connected to our 6.3 through a diode, comes up here, a little 1000 mic cap sitting across it to smooth it. There is in around 7 volts, I think, in around 6.8 sits across the relay. So just going through the diode and through a cap to supply the 6 volts for the 6-volt relay. The other side of the relay, the negative side, is switched to ground via the reed switch, which I showed you earlier on the back of the dial, via the magnet. Okay, so yeah, it's a little bit of a complicated arrangement, but yeah, as I said, not all radios are like this thing. This is sort of a one-off, so it's no use in going through showing you circuit diagrams and everything else. Now, what we've got here, we'll go back to radio. So if we go back up to the dial, the lights change, and as you can hear, we've got radio there. If we come down here, magnet comes near the reed switch, switches this relay, and there we've got Bluetooth. Okay, which that's connected to my phone at the moment. I don't know whether we can get anything in here. I've got the door closed. It's about 4 degrees outside today, so I don't have much signal in the shed when there's anything happening here. I'll just pause this for a moment and I'll try and get a signal for you, just to show you the Bluetooth working. Bit of interference there from bits and pieces.
Your local station across the Central West. Radio Network. Chris Smith across Australia.
And there we go. There's the radio. So we'll come around here, and let's see when we go to Bluetooth. There we go. Lights changed. comes on, and I press play on my phone. And as you can hear there, we've got Mr. Fogarty in the background there that wants to sing for us. But I can't play you that. Anyway, there we go. So it's switched over to Bluetooth and working fine. Now, this doesn't sound real good. The sound is shocking. So I've decided I'm going to recone this thing. This is how I got it working. Yes, it works somewhat. There is no bass response in this thing at all. The cone is hard. It doesn't move much. So I'm going to recone this. This will be the next video. Okay, so the Bluetooth is now finished working. I'm going to put all this back inside. We'll have a look after I've tidied all this up. And yeah, that will be the Bluetooth finished for the radio. And then we'll, as I said, the next video, the speaker. And I've never reconed a speaker before, but there's great opportunity to learn with this thing. It sounds bloody awful. And yeah, we won't play centre field at the moment. Okay, so guys, that's about it. We'll come back in a minute. We'll have a look. As I said, 270 for the HT. That's looking pretty close, isn't it? And that's good. And the switching arrangement works really well. So a magnet, a reed switch to a relay, and well, that's a 4-pole relay. I'm only using 3 poles, 3-pole 2 position. And yeah, that's, well, it works. It works perfectly, actually. And I'm sorry, that's my shed door. It's windy, icy, bit of snow, bit of sleet, bit of hail. There's everything out there today. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, guys, well, there it is. Now, I do have a little bracket to put over this fella that comes from this screw here. So he'll be held in place. Yeah, there's lots of wires here, and it's a little bit harder to follow maybe for the next fellow. This is all detailed anyway, but this radio is my radio, so I'm not too worried about who's going to have to work on this next. While I'm alive, it will be in my, probably in my living room, if I get it all nicely put back together eventually. Okay, so there it is, a little bit tidier, and well, guys, that's pretty close to being it. I'll just give you another view of things. Okay, so there's the front of the radio, and yeah, that's the position we put it in to get our Bluetooth to enable it. There's no stations down here. It's past the end of the dial, right at the end, so that's not interfering with anything at all with this radio. Okay, so Bluetooth module, there it is there. We've got 5-volt supply and our stereo audio going out, and of course it's monoed on Manuel's little circuit board. So okay, so round the back, as you saw, switching arrangement, our magnet here on the disc. You can also do this if you've got a disc or dial drum. If the dial drum sits inside of, or in the front rather, of your tuning capacitor, well, think about a little magnet and a small reed switch and a relay. Very easy to do. Okay. All right. And I'll have to stop saying okay. You guys know it's okay. It's a habit of mine with me ums and ahs. Righto. There it is. The next, as I said, the next video on this will be this bit here. As you can see, she's pretty awful, and well, what I use, I forget what I use, some sort of lacquer on the cone to hold things together, and it's gone very, very hard around the suspension, around the edges. So my job now, like the rest of it, looks $1 million, doesn't it? It's a shame about this bit. So we're going to take all this apart. I'll be recording all this and show you what I do with it. Hopefully, what I can do with it. I don't know, as I said. Never give this a crack yet, but yeah, we've got to give it a go. All right, okay, guys. Until next time, give us a like if you like the old Breville, the M96 radio. And please remember to subscribe. It helps the channel. Buy me a coffee. If well, that really helps me buy some caps and bits and pieces and make the videos that I do. So yeah, it'd be lovely. Or yeah, just keep watching, guys. Okay then, until next time, won't be long. It's bye for now.